Hello, my name is Josh Moore, and this is my video recording for my University React app. I will be splitting this video into two sections. I will first go through an actual demonstration of my app itself, and then I will run through the code in the background. Okay, so we will first greet it with a list of all the degrees that it has fetched from the background API. Let's pick one, for example. Let's go with computer science. So as you can see, when you click on this, it shows up all the cohorts. That's first, second, third, and fourth year. I created this for myself, so don't worry about that. Um, when you click on one of these, let's say second year computer science, you can view all the students in this cohort that has been fetched. So what we can do, so we can come down to the bottom and we can create a new student. So let's give a student ID of 001, first name Bob, second name Dylan, and of course he is in second year computer science. Now his email is bd@gmail.com, just as an example. So there you go. So that brings you back to this page. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see Bob here. Now, if you click on Bob, you'll see that he doesn't have any modules or grades. So what we'll do is we'll go back, we'll actually create a new module for computer science 2. Let's do a new module. Let's do, I don't know, um, CH12 for cyber hacking. I don't know, something like that. And it's a module split of 50. So this is delivered to, let's say, second year computer science. As you can see, we have a drop down here that allows us to use the checkboxes. So we'll create this module. And as you can see, we have added this module to computer science too. It's an awful lot of modules for some students, but anyway. So what we'll do is we will go back to our students, find Bob at the bottom, click on him, set grade, scroll all the way to the bottom, we'll find him again. Bob Dylan, there you go. And he was in cyber hacking. So that cohort, second year computer science. He got an exam mark of 50, or continuous assessment mark of 50, and an exam mark of 50. He's not doing too well at the minute. Let's submit that. And as you can see, this is his cyber hacking module, and it displays his grade of 50. So let's add a new degree. So let's do, what else have we got? Let's just do arts. So art one. Uh, but I won't be funny. Let's just go with arts. Try to think of a joke. So we have art here, art one. So now we have to add a new cohort. So that's, let's say, first year of arts. So cohort is, I don't know, human anatomy. I'm pretty sure you have to learn human anatomy. What is that the degree? That's the ID. Sorry. So let's just do HA1. Ah. And first year and arts. As you can see, we have a drop down to select which degree it is in. And the cohort name is human. And so you probably don't have to do human anatomy for arts, but anyway, as you can see, human anatomy. Now this will follow the exact same. So currently we don't have any modules, but I've already shown that you can create a module, and then you can then add a student into that module with a grade for that specific module. Another feature is you can view specific. You can view which modules are delivered to which cohort and which degree. So with another feature that we have is you can view each module per degree and per cohort. So let's say we go into computer for business. Let's go into third year computer for business. As you can see, again, we have all the students who take this course, and then we can go into the modules. So here you can view all the modules. As you can see, I was testing it out, so I have a test module here. But if you click on maybe IT architecture, you can see the continuous assessment split, and you can see which cohort this is being delivered to. So this is only delivered to computing for business, computing with business in third year. And as you can see, you can also view the students taking this. So all these students are taking, what was it, infrastructure, architecture infrastructure, something like that. And as you can see, poor Heather isn't doing too well. Okay, so now I will get into the background code and everything that I've written. So we'll start off with basically the entryway into the app, which is our app.js or app.javascript. So as you can see up here, we have my imports. First of all, we have our router. So we use React Router DOM or React Router Document Object Model. So this basically lets us navigate through each page. It represents the web page as a tree-like structure and allows the HTML pages to act as basically nodes. So down here you can see our routes. This will map a URL path to one of our components over here. So for example, let's say student ID, it loads the student page. And that would be, and as you can see, in these elements represent our components. So single student is here. I'll go into that in a second. And let's say for a form for one of our components, that as a form like our cohort, we write it as cohort create. So this is our create component, create cohort component. So to our first component, a lot of these will be very similar. They'll use the same format, they'll use the same methods. So I'll go over each thing, each component of each, I suppose, function of each component once if it comes up multiple times. So our first component is our degree list. So as you can see, it's defined as degree list.jsx. This basically is what shows our list of degrees on our homepage. So how we do this is we will use our fetch. So this is reaching out to this URL. This is inside of our use effect. So as you can see here, it'll ask for a response. If the response is not okay, it'll throw an error. If not, then it'll return a response and then save the data using these. So these are our use states, as you can see I've defined up here. So for example, we have our degrees to set. So as this is a very simple one, all you're fetching is the name of degrees. However, we have to have our loading state and our error state as well that we can update throughout. So as you can see here, if there's an error, we set the error as our, as the error message that comes up. Now, as you can see here, we've left this bracket empty. So this will run, leaving this empty means that this function, or this function will run as the page loads. So it only runs once and does not keep refreshing the page, as this could cause it to crash. Now, as you can see down here, we have our return. So this is what we use on nearly every single component. It's very simple. So we iterate through, in this example, the degrees using our dot map, and then we will link it using a link and unordered list. Jesus, there we go. And then obviously we have links to other pages. So this will be very similar on most components. So I'll quickly go over the next ones. Our next component is our single degree. So this basically allows us to go into a single degree, such as computer science or computing for business, and it will show us all of our cohorts. So as you can see in our use state, we have defined the cohorts. We've also defined let degree. That's just to pull in, pretty much just to pull the degree name into this page, into this component. So again, we'll use use effect, and then in use effect, we will have our fetch degree. So this is our fetch, and this is our second to fetch. This is to fetch our cohort. Now, instead of running them once at a time, we will use our promise all, and this runs both fetches at the same time. And from then on, it's very similar to what our fetch degree was doing in the last component. And then again, you can see we have our return, very similar, using map to iterate through each cohort, display the cohort. To our next component, this is our single cohort component. So this allows us to see, each student in each cohort. So let's say first year of computer science or second year of business. So this is very interesting. So here we're using use params. I assume that means use parameters. I'm not too sure. As you can see, we've imported it here. This allows us to dynamically update our URLs. So as you can see, we've defined our cohort ID. So this is, for example, Computer for Business 1. And then when we're fetching, this will be dynamically fed from here into our URL. I find it very interesting. I've never used something like that before. And again, so this is our fetch cohort and this is our fetch students. Again, we are feeding the cohort ID, like Compos1 or CompSci1, into the URL to fetch the students. And then from then on, exact same. So we have our promise all. This is going to run our fetching cohort and fetching students at the same time. Saves us some time. And again, very simple return statement. Dot map, unordered list, all that. Very simple. Very, very, very similar to what we've done before. So onto our next component. This is a little bit different. So this is using a form. So this is our creating of cohort. So let's say we wanted to make a new cohort for computing for business. For example, let's say year 5. Navigate, very simple. Just lets us go navigate. It does what it says, navigates between pages. So let's say after form is submitted, I'll show down here, it will navigate us to the next page or previous page. So here we have initialized our variables for the form. Again, this is very simple. This is fetching our data for degree, as we're going to use it in a drop down for our form. So this is what we are defining. So this is our cohort, and we are pushing this or posting this data to to our form, to our backend. So very simply, again, this is just a very simple form return. As you can see, we are using our degree data for a dropdown. Very simple. Very, very simple. It's very interesting to use. And our styling is done using Tailwind. So for example, you see here, this is to fill out a input box. So this is just a black background, a gray background, black text. That is everything for me. Thank you for watching.